2 years ago, an arrest warrant was issued for Patrick Jane in connection to the murder of Thomas McAllister, the serial killer known as Red John. Is it true you were part of an international FBI manhunt to bring Patrick Jane to justice?
That's accurate.
And yet now you work for a unit of the FBI that employs him.
I am a part of that unit, yes.
The FBI conducts a 2-year manhunt, finds its suspect, and brings him back. But instead of a trial by his peers, he is given a government job with benefits. Why?
We made a deal with him.
What were the terms of that deal?
I don't know. He was already a part of the team when I was hired. Mr. Jane is required to assist us in cases in exchange for immunity from prosecution.
You work very closely with Mr. Jane in California. Does he confide in you? You close?
You could say that.
Did he tell you he killed Thomas McAllister?
Not specifically, no.
Did he tell you he killed Thomas McAllister?
I plead the fifth.
Did he tell you where he was on the day McAllister was murdered?
I plead the fifth.
Agent Lisbon, are you besmirching your badge and refusing to answer to protect yourself or to protect Patrick Jane?
Go to hell.
Mr. Jane, you understand you're under a waiver of immunity?
Yes, ma'am.
What does that mean to you?
It means that anything I say may be held against me.
Very good. In a moment, I'll open the floor up to you so you can provide a narrative of events to explain what you were doing and where you were on the date and time of Thomas McAllister's murder.
Objection. You said murder. Thomas McAllister may have shot and strangled himself.
There are no objections here, Mr. Jane. No judge. Just a friendly inquiry. But I take your point. Do you recall the day of McAllister's death?
I do. Big day. I had been chasing a man for 8 years. Any of you know what it's like to be driven by a moral imperative? You do. You. And you do. You all have strong jaw muscles. It's a sign of strength and character. You, I'm not so sure. Your eyes are a tad close to each other.
Excuse me. What are you doing?
I'm establishing a narrative of events, as you asked.
So stick to the narrative.
Narrative, yes, I do love a story. As do you. You read a great deal of fiction, don't you? Romantic novels.
That's right.
Yes, an illicit engagement wouldn't scare you, would it?
Where are you going with this?
I'm trying to tell my story if you'll just let me.
You haven't even started it.
Well, they seem engaged. All of them except this gentleman here, who's preoccupied by his new jacket. It's a little vain and childish, don't you think? This is serious business. Pay attention. I'm sorry,
Sir,
I was just trying to...
you will not indulge him.
Well, he's happy to indulge himself. That should definitely be on the record.
Mr. Jane, this is not a forum for you to chat with the jurors.
Well, it should be.
Mr. Jane?
Just seem like good, honest, friendly people, all of them except that gentleman on the end there. You know, you really should mend things with your son. All this anger, this bitterness, this resentment that you're bottling, it's ruining both your lives.
Stop now. You do not dictate the agenda here.
Who does?
I do. This is my courtroom, and it runs the way I say. Is that clear?
Yes, now. Thank you.
This place is depressing.
Oh, you're cheering up. That's great.
Wow. It's way bigger than the last one. Gabe, you're stupid.
I meant the whole base.
Captain McKinley. Awesome.
Just give it a sec. You'll dig it once you settle in.
Mom, don't say dig.
Is it us or is it him?
Seriously?
Because I do think this will be good for him getting to stay put for a few years. Good for all of us. No, you don't. I mean, if I don't flame out day one.
Don't.
What? It's Norfolk. 54,000 active duty, 63 ships, 5 aircraft carriers.
Hence, they put you in charge.
Here.
Now, crazy idea. Relax. So when you report in 2 weeks, you'll be loose. And you'll be ready.
This is McKinley. Yes, I am. Just arrived. Yes, sir. Of course. I have to report to Admiral Laskow. Right now. Where's my uniform?
Just looking over your record, Captain. Quite the star.
Well, I enjoy a challenge, sir.
Yeah, well, you remember you said that 6 months from now, if you're here.
Thank you, sir.
Stand easy, Captain. Now, I'd love to have a chat with my incoming CO. Congratulate you, helpful hints and so forth.
Oh, it's very much appreciated.
There's no time for that. Here's a short form. Naval Station Norfolk is a big piece of pie. Crisis a week. On a good week. Don't jack it up.
No, sir. I don't intend to.
Well, you're gonna have a chance to prove that because something's come up. Your leave time has been canceled, Captain McKinley. You're reporting today. Take a seat.
The 3 suspects.
Good morning, ma'am. Mark Huffington. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Stand easy, Lieutenant.
I'll take you to meet the rest of your staff at 1300 hours.
So you're my strategist.
I'm your guy who tells you the truth.
It's a funny thing for a lawyer to say.
Believe me, you don't want an advisor who doesn't have a law degree. Frankly, these days, the U.S. government would strongly prefer you not pour coffee without legal counsel. It really just means you get a full-time second brain, so any way I can help, I'm available 24/7, all right?
Okay, great. So scale of 1 to 10. Chance we handle this assault investigation without further agitating the press?
Respectfully, 0. You can just feel it when people want to sink their teeth in something.
God, they all found out fast.
Well, sailors. Nobody gossips better. Anyway, NCIS is already here. I'm on my way to meet and greet. I'll stay on top of this, ma'am.
Carry on, Lieutenant. Interesting week to get the job.
Yes, ma'am.
Every surgeon.
Receptions. Honestly, they're awkward. Good thing tomorrow's is so huge. Nick, where are you?
They don't even know if that woman's waking up. What I want to know is what I'm supposed to tell Allie.
Allie?
She's dead set on joining up in 5 years. What do I say? Go Navy? When that happens on this base, no daughter of
Why
mine...
don't you ask me what to tell her? I am a woman in the Navy.
Okay. I'm asking.
Okay. Navy's not special. It's a microcosm of the world. The world's not a safe place for women. You gotta be careful. Luckily, most guys are like you. Not them.
It only takes one of the other kind, baby.
Yeah.
Just about every flag that you've seen here is made in my factory. As a matter of fact, why don't you come take a tour of our plant? Be my guest.
Captain McKinley? Ben Eagleman, New York Times.
All the way from New York, huh?
Always traveling.
Standing invitation.
Congratulations are in order. I hear it happened fast.
Not that fast. Navy's got a lot of moving parts.
Right. One being that alleged assault investigation.
You know what? I've got a great public affairs office.
Just timing's interesting. Wonder if the Navy's sending a message putting a woman in command during this highly charged investigation.
You do understand that's not how it works. I was chosen months before...
Pardon me, ma'am. It's urgent. Excuse us. You look like you needed an interruption, ma'am.
Thank you. Press? Really?
The governor's here. Everyone at these always just looks like they'd rather be in Bermuda shorts.
Right? Of course you would know. You've been dragged to these since you were a Navy brat. Please, of course I looked you up. Admiral Huffington's son? Senator Huffington?
It's not important. Now, let's escort you to the boring side of this thing. More boring.
Roman. What are you doing here?
What? The door was open, and I just had to look. I've always been fascinated by the plants of the Oapas.
Our plants are the most varied and interesting of all the tribes. This one, for example. Lilac. When plunged into your spinal cord, it paralyzes your sensory and motor nerves, causing your pain receptors to fire. It will feel like you're being skinned alive. Now, why don't you tell me what you're really doing here? Last chance, Roman.
I told you the truth.
Wrong answer.
Mom?
Terry, I was just about to tell your mother that we had a date. Here.
Is this true?
Yes.
Why didn't you say so before?
Well, with all due respect, you were gonna torture me for just being in the grow house. I didn't know what you'd do to me if I said I was gonna meet your daughter.
Don't let me find you here again. It's fine. You should be careful with Roman. He shares his father's same perverse love for the humans. His influence is making you weak.
Are you done?
Roman is keeping you from embracing your destiny. As a member of this tribe, as a drag, as my daughter. One day soon, you will have to choose where your loyalties lie. With Roman, or with your family. The Ixin and the heir apparent. To what do I owe the honor?
We're here to discuss your recent activities inside and outside the sector.
You're gonna have to be more specific.
How about my friend winding up in the hospital with what seems a lot like black cypher poisoning?
We're sending your trags out into the world without their marking so that they could spy and plot against humans.
You here to lecture me, or is there some point to your visit?
I know you heard the humans will be coming into the sector for Denuscu.
Of course. It is an affront to all Atrians.
You need to guarantee their safety.
Or else you will leave us no choice but to turn you and your followers into the SEU. I hope it doesn't come down to that.
It is a tradition at Denuscu to exchange gifts. And yet all I hear are threats. Your demands might be better received if you had something to offer.
And what is it that Vega wants?
I'm not sure yet. But when I do, I expect you both to deliver.
Kosik, sapasmo, iriku.
Le, sapasmo. Going forward, the Trags will not harm any humans inside the sector. Twice in one day, Roman. I'm starting to think you want me to accept you into the Trags.
Drake stopped by my pod. He sounded strange, like he was saying goodbye.
What's your point?
I don't know what it is that you're ordering him to do. But I'm asking you, please, release him.
You are demanding a lot of me today.
I know. I'm in your debt.
I will give you what you ask if you can effect the release of prisoner 337 from the crate.
What would make you think that I could arrange something like that?
I don't. Nevertheless, that is what I want. By the end of tomorrow night's feast.
Even if I could arrange something like that, why would I help free a Trag?
To save your friend, I assume. But I promise you, this prisoner is not a Trag nor violent. This is simply a fellow Atrian who was wrongly accused and imprisoned.
And what do you want with him?
Prisoner 337, tomorrow night. Or you could say goodbye to your friend.
Castor didn't do this.
Castor used the same kind of grenade on Roman in the market yesterday. And he was seen outside our garden after the explosion. If not Castor, then who? Not only did you fail to bring me the Ixen's key, but you let this happen. Our most sacred place destroyed by the same person you were supposed to be watching. Arm yourselves! Castor pays for what he has done. Tonight!